Hi, I'm Lynda Downing, and this is my Module 1 for AEP 839. So a little personal information about myself. My name is Lynda Marquette Downing. My nickname is Marnie, which is a birth-given nickname. I was born and raised in Garden City, Kansas. I attended the University of South Dakota and achieved a BS in elementary education and special education. I did attend the University of South Dakota on a swimming scholarship. My hobbies are crochet, reading, searching antique shops, in vintage stores, and traveling. My career, I just finished my 24th year as an educator. I spent my first year in Dodge City, Kansas as a special educator for Northwest Elementary. Then I moved to Lake in Kansas, where I was a special educator 5th through 6th grade at their grade school. Then moved and I was the special educator in Grinnell, Kansas for the whole district K through 12. Then I moved again and lived in Douglas, Kansas, and I commuted to Wichita, Kansas and was the 4th grade teacher for Ingalls Edison. Then I moved to Arkansas City, Kansas, and was a special educator for 7th grade at Ark City Middle School and was there for 11 years. And then I moved to Buckland, Kansas, where I am now, and I'm the special educator 5th through 8th grade for the junior high. So what are 10 academic activities that our school provides for our students? We do Scholars Bowl, Spelling Bee, League Math Competition, Science Fair, NHS or National Honor Society. We have annual field trips, social studies field trips, FFA Farm Day, forensics, and STEAM camp. So how does your school administrator support these activities? She's very busy. She is one who takes care of quite a bit of these to make sure that they keep going, with the exception of Scholars Bowl and NHS, which have sponsors from our teachers. So she is one that's keeping a lot of these things going. What do I think of these activities? I think they're great. Our kids really enjoy them. What would you do differently if you're administrator in charge of these activities? The only question I have is the annual field trips. We do go on those for junior high. However, they rarely have anything to do with our curriculum. It's just a fun day that we take our kids and go and do something fun, which is a good idea, but at the same time, maybe they could correspond better with our curriculums. And what do the teachers, students, parents, and other key stakeholders think about these activities? We've done these activities for years, and I think that that's just what they think we're supposed to do. So I think they really enjoy them and expect their kids to be able to participate in them. 10 non-academic activities. We have sports, of course. Buckland is a very big sports community. We do SAD, Stuco, FFA, and esports, which is new to our community. We do have a student mentor program. Of course, our kids attend lunch. We have a Compass weekly counseling. So we do have a counselor that comes from Dodge every day, well, once a week to meet with our students to provide services, which is really great. We do a seminar class for high school and a motivation class for junior high, and we do have the League Music Festival in Buckland every year. So how does your school administrator support these activities? Once again, she's very busy. So she makes sure that as the athletic director that all the sports are taken care of. She makes sure the coaches do what they need to be doing. She also makes sure that there's umpires, so she's very busy with that. SAD, Stuco, FFA, and esports all have teacher sponsors that help take care of that. So that's really great. So what do I think of these activities? I like all of these activities with the exception of seminar and motivation, but I'll talk more about that in just a moment. But all of these are very successful in our school, especially SAD and NHS. They're very volunteer oriented, which is great. And what would you do differently if you were the administrator in charge of these activities? The only thing I would change, which is seminar, class, and motivation. Especially in junior high, motivation ends up being more of a babysitting time than it is necessarily anything that moves any sort of relationships forward. And seminar class is often taken up with club meetings and things like that. I think we could use that time more effectively by building relationships, talking about career interest inventories, working on individual plans of study for each of the kids, and goal setting. I think we could use that time more wisely. And what do the teachers, students, parents, and other key stakeholders think about these activities? We've done these activities for a number of years. Once again, the teachers and parents expect these to happen. So 5 things I've learned. The non-academic skills are self-confidence, academic confidence, self-discipline, motivation, focus, responsibility, critical thinking, time management, study skills, and many more. Non-academic skills are necessary as each student matures and matriculates through school. Non-academic skills will determine the success of an individual. Parents, teachers, principals, and superintendents agree. It is equally important to assess both academic and non-academic skills. However, important non-academic skills are not being measured very well because they're not measured very easily. The specific non-academic skills that are valued and the ways they are fostered vary widely. Not all stakeholders agree on whether schools, families, or communities should play a primary role in developing these skills. This Every Student Succeeds Act requires that states include at least one non-academic indicator in their school accountability framework. Being thoughtful what to prioritize can help educators determine the best ways to integrate non-academic skills into their classrooms. Increasingly, teachers who are on the front line say that it's very important to teach kids to be more socially and emotionally competent. Teachers feel, and growing research supports, that it helps them academically, it improves school climate, improves discipline, and is going to help them to be college and career and life ready. So 5 more things that I learned because it couldn't fit 10 on one page. Conditions in children's lives and environment must be right in order for them to be successful academically, socially, and emotionally. Non-academic barriers to learning can impede a student's ability to learn by not allowing them to be engaged in the classroom to make the most of their academic learning time. Morning meeting helps create a sense of belonging and emotional safety for students. Research shows that this translates into improved academic and behavior outcomes. A growth mindset means children should know that they are constantly growing and learning. This will help them make the most out of bad situations because they'll always be looking at what they've learned rather than the fact that they messed up. Emotional factors that affect learning. The encouragement that we receive from our teachers, parents, and friends plays an important role in our emotional learning. If a student adopts a mindset of always trying their best and learning from past failures, they generally have a positive outlook on their ability to learn. Soft skills, that's any skill that you learn, is important, so calling these soft makes them seem less so. However, now more than ever, it is important that children learn these basics of professionalism. They need to know it's important to be punctual and dress properly. They need to exhibit good manners and obey social conventions. It's increasingly important that children understand that their online persona will allow others to judge them. So let's then identify the things that I have seen or have not seen my school principal do. What I have seen her create relationships with students, parents, staff, and stakeholders. She attends all functions, sports, concerts, field trips, etc. She does have an open door policy. She has a whatever it takes attitude. She attends and actively participates in IEP meetings and sit team meetings. Attends and actively participates in the DLT or the district leadership team. She does discipline students when necessary. She did create positive office referrals, which is a great thing that she did, where teachers are able to write an office referral for something a student does really well, and that allows the principal to actually call and talk to their parents about something positive instead of something negative. And once they get that, then they get their name on the list, and then every 9 weeks they get a special treat, and our kids love it. She does complete teacher evaluations. She does communicate with the superintendent. She's a mentor and confidant of students, and she has a willingness to learn and a creator of change. I've never seen her be harsh to a student or a staff member. She does struggle to get all of her weekly walkthroughs done because she's busy both being a athletic director and the principal, and I've never seen her betray a confidence. So my takeaway for this little presentation It is our job. Our job is not to prepare students for something. Our job is to help students prepare themselves for anything. So my thoughts. The standard correlation. The module required a detailed study of academic activities, non-academic activities, and the barriers our students face. The study allowed me to demonstrate the capacity to promote the well-being and future success of all students. The research guided my understanding of the role that school leaders take to ensure that all students are successful. A school leader must hold up and promote the vision of the school. So what I think is relevant. As a special education teacher, I have seen many students struggle against barriers. It is imperative that school leaders try to minimize these barriers to allow all students to reach their potential. My biggest takeaway was making sure students have a feeling of belonging in our school. This can be achieved by scheduling time every day for students to discuss their feelings and emotions. The reflection. As a future special education administrator, it will be my responsibility to ensure students' emotional needs and well-being is met. This activity has clarified the need for compassion and understanding when dealing with both students and staff. As a leader, the school or organization you lead will reflect your own feelings, good and bad. Therefore, it is critical to be open, kind, and giving. So this is a list of my resources. So thanks for taking the time to listen to my video and presentation, and I look forward to you listening to yours.